As darkness slowly creeps in at an amusement park, things start to get a little bit more unsettling, especially when you hear about these 5 parks that all have had real ghost hauntings. Let's head over to Europe to learn more about this bone-chilling story out of Alton Towers. The UK's largest theme park might be filled with people screaming on their coasters during the day, but at night, it becomes a ghostly playground. According to Will Broom, who lived with his family at Alton Towers for 90 years, shared a number of stories about their haunted home. He stated, "During the 1960s and the 70s, my otherwise sane and somewhat skeptical family witnessed regular paranormal activity in the shop. The poltergeist, which they believed to be a woman, as staff claimed to have seen her, became so active that my family went to great lengths to investigate, such as the family sealed doors and windows and even began sleeping in the towers themselves to try to catch a glimpse of her. At one point, they even hired a specialist paranormal investigator from London, but sadly, they never officially solved the mystery." So what type of stuff was happening? Well, the grandma, who also lived with the family, noticed a line of ducks which she could have sworn were facing one way when she went to bed. But then when she woke up the next morning, they were all facing the other direction. Now, like most people, she brushed it off. But then it happened again and again, to the point that it started to get a little bit scary. One morning, a few weeks later, she unlocked the huge front doors and was faced with hundreds of little green army soldiers, which all had been placed away and sealed in boxes behind the toy department. But this scary morning, they were all scattered across the stone floor. And do you want to know the scariest part of this? All the soldiers who were holding weapons were lying on their front or on their backs, presumably dead, while all the others who were not holding a weapon were still standing. The woman claimed that they were all strategically placed to stage this bizarre war scene as the poltergeist was playing with them. Now talk about freaky. Did you know that Southern California's Disneyland apparently has real ghosts that do not reside in the Haunted Mansion? In fact, there are several ghosts that are said to haunt the park. Most of them are supposed to be the spirits of those who perished in accidents at the park over the years. For example, people report sightings of a man who appears near the monorail track at night before disappearing in the face of an oncoming tram. That spirit is said to be Thomas Guy Cleveland, a young man who attempted to sneak into the park at night by climbing over the fence in 1966. Now, once he was in the park and climbed the monorail track, he was hit by an oncoming tram. Debbie Stone is also said to haunt the park. She was a teenage hostess working at the American Sings attraction when she was smashed by one of the rotating theater walls. As years passed, cast members have reported hearing Stone whisper, "Be careful," if they are in danger. And while sadly Walt Disney is no longer around anymore, many cast members and park guests have said to have sometimes seen or hear Walt Disney wandering around his old studio apartment that is located above the Main Street Firehouse. Since Disney's passing in 1966, cast members have kept the light on in the apartment window eternally on for him. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. The wonderful Crown Colony restaurant that is located at Busch Gardens Tampa is home to the best bar in the park and some delicious great food. But don't let that fool you, because this place has a chilling side to say the least. The restaurant has frightened staff for decades, Many claim to have experienced paranormal activity that includes terrifying window reflections of a man playing the piano, plus feelings of being watched and visions of women walking around in white nightgowns. The employees also cited that they felt unexpected cold spots, moving shadows, flickering lights, scents of non-existing cigar smoke, and visions of a young child named Wendy. A veteran employee of the restaurant insisted that the fourth floor had a presence and stated, "Almost any time you're up there by yourself and press the elevator button to go down, you would get this cold chill and the hair on the back of your neck would stand up." Next up are some chilling stories about Cedar Point's famous hotel breakers. The beachfront hotel is by far the most haunted location at Cedar Point, and throughout the past century, there have been many reports of hauntings and paranormal activity inside this hotel. Starting off is the story about room 169. Since the early 1900s, employees and guests have reported strange occurrences in room 169. When the hotel was still just a beach resort, a guest named Mary supposedly hung herself in the room's shower. Since then, guests staying in this room have reported strange problems with electronic devices, mysterious sounds including crying, and the shower turning on and off by itself. As years passed, the rooms in this section of the hotel were used as employee dwellings rather than guest rooms, and with all the construction Cedar Point has done on breakers over the years, these rooms might not even be located at breakers anymore. But that does not stop Mary from lurking around the property. The Deathly Balcony. There's one certain balcony that is located at hotel breakers that is supposedly haunted by the spirits of a man who made a suicide pact with his female lover. According to the legend, the man jumped to his death from the balcony while the woman grabbed onto the ledge and pulled herself back up to safety. Female visitors have reported feeling something pulling them towards the balcony, attempting to pull them over the edge toward a certain death. Heading down to Hotel Breaker's ballroom because that is the sighting of the next haunting. According to witnesses, ghostly dancers can often be seen dancing in the ballroom, and you can also hear haunting music coming from the ballroom from time to time. Heading to Texas for the last park, and that would be Six Flags Over Texas, where a spirited child named Annie is said to haunt Six Flags Over Texas. Park guests and staff speak fondly of Annie, and she likes to have a little bit of fun because she regularly turns on and off the lights in her room, which is located in the yellow house near the new Texas Giant. Paranormal researcher Chad Miller stated that he was told by several high-ups at the park that her body was sadly found in the nearby creek bed in the 1920s. Researchers reported seeing a teddy bear move in Annie's room, as well as hearing a voice say, "Let me play with your hair." If you like this video, then you're going to love my next one. That is because I'm going to share with you my real-life ghost story while I was working at Kings Island. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss that. Do you have any haunting stories about theme parks or rides, or just in general? I would really like to hear about it, so please let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.